Welcome to Two Brothers and an Idea. This is a platform for the men. We are empowering the brothers to uplift themselves through open dialogue, through support, and through positive change. I'm Ferdinand, and this is my homeboy Teton. How y'all doing out there?
Yo, peace. I'm doing well, man. Good to see you again, brother.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. Hey, everybody out there, share, like, comment. Right? All right. We got to get this message out to everybody. This is positivity. All right. We coming together. We helping empower and enhance what's going on in the homes, right? We're helping to create awareness, right? So yeah, help us share that message. You subscribe, like, share, do all that.
Oh man. So how's your day going, sir? How has your day been? It's been a great day out here in Texas, man. A little hot, a little humid. I had a good day today.
Day's been good. Been on the grind. Getting some things done. I rebuilt the gift shop in one of my websites, and
Okay.
was doing something else. Yeah, setting up the Mastermind Book Club
Okay.
page.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's gonna be exciting, I'm sure.
yeah. I'm looking forward to completing that. And unveiling that to the people. I think the book club is going to change a lot of lives.
So we're
Yeah.
talking about today. What we talking about today is we're talking about music, influence of music and entertainment.
Yes.
Why this topic, sir?
Well, when we think about music, I think about the story of the Pied Piper. And how the Pied Piper was played his flute or whatever, and everybody followed him, right? Well, that's kind of what we see with entertainers in the music industry,
Mhm.
and also entertainers in the film industry, television
Right.
industry,
Right.
and a lot of people follow whatever message that they put out, but we see their following through the way that they spend money. So I think that this is a very, very significant topic, that we need to touch on, and really see if what we're ingesting on a regular basis is healthy for melanation. What you think
Well,
about that?
I think you know the conversation. There's so many layers to the conversation, and I think to be able to pull it apart, you really have to be strategic because sometimes people can hear us talking about music entertainment, and all they hear is that something is always wrong, right? And they don't really understand the education, the science, and the freedom to have these kind of conversations because you have the choice to make whatever you choose to take in as a diet. And we all have challenges and we all are guilty of it, right? So, but I think when I think about it, it's almost like magic. It's almost like science. It's like spells. It's like chemistry, light, frequency, sound. I mean, there's a whole combination of things that's happening when we talk about music. We talk about entertainment, performances, the arts and entertainment,
Sure.
um, and there's a lot of history that we can pick apart. So I think it's a great conversation. I think that I can learn something today. I'm sure as you as well, and many others who want to engage in the conversation.
When I think about the influence of media,
Okay.
entertainment, music, any of it, it brings me to the law of suggestion. And to kind of really break that down with ease, uh, we become what we experience in repetition. We become, right. So this is the
Mhm.
law of suggestion manifest the spirit, mental, physical levels, and all other levels, right. But these maybe the main three. It's all one thing, right. But we've
Mhm.
got multiple different varying degrees of polarity within
Right.
this one being, right.
Right.
But the suggestions in our lives start to shape us in certain types of ways, right?
Right.
Our behavior starts to move in certain types of directions as a result of the suggestions. And the suggestions come from all kinds of different places and they come in all kinds of different ways. They come through clairvoyance, through dreams. They come through telepathic communication. They also come through reading. They also come through looking at shapes and symbols and colors, and the list goes on, right? But seeing and experiencing these things, hearing these things, thinking these things, listening or speaking these things again and again produces some type of a result. And the question that I would ask to anyone out there, all of y'all out there who are listening, are the results favorable? Hit the chat. Let us know. Are the results favorable on what we're getting from music and entertainment? Are these suggestions favorable for the community?
This argument occurs very often, right? Or happens often, rather. Remember when our parents were children, and their parents with Lizetta Thorpe, and how she took the gospel and turned it into rock and roll. She's this mother of rock and roll, and how these sounds were sounding like the devil, or you had this period of time where now it's a sexual revolution in the rock and roll. And so these debates, discussions, and arguments have been going on for generations over and over again. And you can find traces of one that would start out one way, and you can look at what happened in the 40s and 50s and now look at today's music. It's one extreme to the other, but it's the same energy, right? It's the same frequency, right? So there is some history I want you to pick out. I want you to pull out, Fernand, about why the frequencies were changed by the Rockefeller. Let's talk about that for music.
So cymatics and behavior is a big thing, This is the reason why Nikola Tesla went crazy about he didn't go crazy, but this is why he was very into 3, 6, and 9. There was certain things that he understood about those numbers in connection to vibrational frequencies throughout our universe. So there's a universe without and there's a universe within. And all of it is governed by vibrational frequencies. So a person who has control of cymatics in some which way, shape, or form, they've harnessed that power. They've harnessed the scepter of real power.
Okay, for the people down the hall. For the people in the other classroom with 3 chairs in it.
Sure.
And they got to fill out a worksheet every quarter.
Right.
Break that down just a tad bit.
Well, so if a person took like a pan or took like a plate or something, right, and you put a bunch of sand on it, and then you turned on some type of a motor or some type of a machine that could put out very specific frequencies of vibration. It's going to shake that plate and make that sand make certain types of shapes, and you're gonna see certain types of shapes as a result of the vibrational frequency. Every time you change the frequency, the sand shape is going to change, right? Well, that same thing is happening to people's DNA when they're listening to music, and when they do their chromosomes, when they listen to music, when they're watching entertainment, media entertainment and things of that nature. It's deeper than just being entertained. It's deeper than just liking the sound of the drum beat, of the cadence of the rapper. It's deeper than that. It's all the way down to the core, to the Akash, to the DNA, to the deoxyribonucleic acid.
So that's interesting, right? Because history, and you can probably, and I know you have this about the changing of the 440 hertz. Was it 440 hertz changed to 432 for music? And the tuning, the tuning
from 432.
Right, the tuning and forking of musical instruments. Yes. In the 1960s, they changed it, but they changed the forking of those hertz because of what? To do what?
Well, I'm not familiar with the exact information on that, but I can speculate if that's what you're asking.
Okay, so the hertz were changed to be able to control and have people feel the music from a lower vibration, lack of a better word, right?
Absolutely.
So now when we're hearing music now,
Mm-hmm.
the music is like what you made mention, the Pied Piper, right? We're being summoned to feel and experience not even the lyrics or the words. We're talking about the rhythms, the harmonies, the melodies have been tuned, the instruments they use to play these instruments, the music or record these duplicate or data sounds are still tuned at now 432 megahertz. Is it megahertz, right? Yeah, hertz.
Well,
And so,
this is the thing. I would say that we would need to go back and check that because see the thing about 432
and
megahertz.
440.
Okay, 440. That makes more that that
So flip them.
yeah, because
Yeah.
432 is a healing
Right.
type
So
of
they
vibration.
went from 432 to 440. So there's the other way around, right?
Sure.
So what I found interesting when you hear music, it's constructed in a way it feels good. All right, music is a healing component, right?
It can be.
Classical music, right?
It can be.
Let's unpack that a little bit so people, those in the room down the hall, will understand the value and the power of sound and frequencies as they're tuned proper ways. The Beethoven, I've
Sure.
heard people talk about a lot of the classical music. If you listen to certain sound frequencies, it'll allow you to be relieved of head pressure, of a headache.
Well, I'll say this, right? When it comes down to the power of music, when we look at the Great Aku, or also known as the Great Pyramid on the Giza Plateau, it it is the largest and most important musical instrument that's ever been created, right? And this is the power of music, right? Like, think about really what I'm saying here. Like, this is the power of vibrational frequencies.
Right,
It not only made music, it made power. It was a power conductor, right?
right.
But it was because of, I believe, an F tone. I don't have all of that information in front of me, at the moment right now, but I do
Uh-huh.
believe it was an F tone that the pyramid with the capstone on it put off.
Right.
But this is how powerful music is, like vibrational frequencies. This is how
Mhm.
powerful that they are. And this is that scepter of power that we need to harness because ultimately it's our birthright. It is what we are. We
So
are
are we music?
100%. You like break the word down. Universe. Go ahead, break it down. Unpack that one for me.
Oh no, I'm listening. You're in teaching mode, so I'm listening.
All
And
right,
your students.
universe.
Okay.
Uni, that's one. Verse, that's the sound, right? One sound.
Verse. Okay.
Yeah, one sound. That's the universe. It's about vibrational frequencies. There's a whole bunch of them. Trillions and billions and hundreds of quadrillions and all the other numbers I don't even know with exponents on them and all of that working together in correspondence, in harmony, in peace.
Right.
And they are making what is the largest orchestra in our known consciousness.
Okay. All right. Now, you're listening to Two Brothers in a Conversation and an Idea. And we're just sitting here talking about the power of music. We're just cooking a little bit, going from the one end of the globe to the other end of the globe. And we're going to dig a little deeper into the conversation. But listen, if you're watching this commentary between me and my good brother Ferdinand here, and you want to join the conversation, want to be a part of the conversation, let us know. But I want you to stay locked in, tuned in. And if you want to look at it later, just still like, follow, and share. Two Brothers and an Idea. Back to you, sir.
I think that the law of suggestion is powerful. There's a few different laws that I dive into. So I
Okay.
talk often about the law of suggestion, the law of sacrifice, the law of reciprocity, right? But the law of suggestion is so powerful. What we choose to ingest,
There we go.
you know, how through the secretions of the skin, all of that we start to become something, right?
Mm,
And
good.
and the question is, do we agree with what we're becoming? So hey, hit the chat if y'all got some ideas on what we're becoming. As a result of the entertainment that we're ingesting.
Right.
Like, so let's get away from the negative side of it for a second.
Yeah.
Let's go to another side, right? So like one of the things I do with my children is I use entertainment to help them get certain lessons, right? So I'll play
Okay.
certain videos again and again. So my son will come in the room, he'll play with daddy. I'll play a certain video. I know he's not watching it, right?
Right.
But I'll play it every single day for like 90 days, and that entertainment is helping shape behavior,
Hmm.
because eventually he's going to repeat some of those words. He may repeat some of the actual physical demonstrated behavior as
Hmm.
well, right?
Right.
So I think that it works both ways with entertainment and music and media. We can use it to heal. We can use it to create generational wealth. We can use it for ascension and elevation and empowerment, but that really just depends on us choosing to use it for that.
Well, a lot of people in conversations such as this will say, well, it doesn't affect me. You know what I'm saying? I'm mature enough. I'm well traveled enough to know that how music works. So whatever I'm listening to, whatever's coming in my eye gate, whatever's coming through my ear gates, right? I got total control over it. So in your line of work, is that a true statement?
I would say that's not a true statement. And I'm going to tell you why. The law of suggestion works on all of us. Not exactly the same way, but technically the same way. It's just varying degrees of polarity, just
Right.
like anything else, right? So if anything that we experience in repetition, we're eventually going to become, no matter how strong it is that we are. This is just how it works. Like, this is how the law works. And nobody can get away from the law. You just got certain people who are able to kind of rise above the law. They still experience in a way, but they're levitating, so they're kind of above it a little bit, but they're high spiritual beings. The point that I'm trying to make, so I don't get too far into the weeds, is if a person chooses to eat hamburgers, let's say cheeseburgers, 4 or 5 times a week, well, eventually they're going to look like a cheeseburger, right?
Okay.
And if a person chooses to watch Love and Hip Hop, you know, multiple times a week, eventually they're going to take on the behavior of the ladies who are the stars of that show. This is the law manifest. If a person goes into an environment where they're not appreciated, and they go into that environment enough, right? These suggestions of the lack of appreciation starts to shape that person's behavior in that home and away from it.
And, and, and so this is very interesting because when you talk about these gateways, right? My senses,
Sure.
whatever I'm seeing, there's a message there. One, whatever I'm hearing, there's another message happening, right? But the seeing and hearing also impacts what is spiritual, my inner being, my thoughts. It can impact my thoughts, right? So if I have a repetitive message, for example, I'm in love with the shoot 'em up, kill 'em. I am now, or the drill music, all the kind of things that, I'm too old to listen to. And through repetitive messaging and not proper processing, it becomes now a voice of reason or the voice of authority, and you begin to take on shape, form, or whatever that may be in your mind, even physically, right? Your body begins to vibrate to that real hard sound. So you take the experiment of the Japanese doctor that we saw, and we did the video, and we looked at how he put the plants and different things in sound frequency and made the plant or the rice be sick if it's ignored, or if you're saying violent words, right? The language, sound frequency. And so when you think about being careful what you say, how you report a story, yes, I'm telling a story of death, a story of disparities or different things that have happened in the community. But then where is that message of life, right? Sometimes the story just ends with, I'm in love with the, you know what I mean? So let's unpack that a little bit. Let's play with that a little bit, because I think, I want to walk this through real slowly so that I don't confuse nobody nor confuse myself. You know what I mean?
Well, are you asking how we get to the point that we're at?
Well, understanding that the power of music, the power of entertainment, what we see, how it impacts our brain, a lot of it is chemical, right?
Yeah.
So to say that it doesn't affect me, or to deny the idea of the science, right, and the belief of what we're talking about, music and sound frequency, entertainment, blah, blah, blah. Let's just stay with the music. It's almost hard to imagine how music can enter into your subconscious, bypass your frontal lobe, into your subconscious without your consent, without your approval. How many times you've heard a jingle that you didn't memorize, like we were doing the other day? Whatever it is, I think I see, becomes a Tootsie Roll to me. Now you know I did not. You know what I'm saying? And so there's a science to how things are arranged to make us feel, to remember, right?
They call it sonic branding.
Exactly. Let's talk about that. We haven't even got to what we're hearing right now on the radio and what we're hearing popular music right now. This is just some basic building about sound and frequency in music.
Well, like I said, it all goes back to suggestion and having control of human behavior. Because if you got a product for sale and you want to sell a whole lot of those products on a very specific point of the year, you got to practically guarantee a certain kind of behavior of a large group of people. Well, how do you do that? Right? Well, you use very specific techniques and strategies that are aligned with hypnotism. And obviously that's a word that a lot of people look at as a bad word, but they might not realize every time they watch that Chipotle commercial, that's what's happening.
That's definitely what happened, right? So do you think that if I listen to music or certain types of music or certain messaging in music long enough, will it cause me to commit some type of violent act or murder, possibly?
Yes. And this is the reason why I say that. There are verified situations in the past where this type of thing has been used to weaponize people.
Okay, I'm listening.
There you go.
I'll leave it like that? You just gonna drop it right there?
Hey, bro.
Do me a favor.
There's some things that I say, hey, here goes the attribution. Then there's other things like, hey, I told you. You might just
watch this. Let's steal Two Brothaz An Idea. Don't get this, man. We're just having a conversation. Check this out. I need you to do this, Fernand. Yes. I need you to type, and those that are watching, I need you to type in Eminem, comma, man kills family, blame hip hop. However you type it in there, pull it up and read the headline and read that article. If you can show it. I'm gonna show you something. It's crazy. Watch this.
All right. So it says man calls 911, says he sang Eminem song. You want me to pull that up?
It's an article that says that he said he was playing music, Eminem's music, and in the music he heard something that caused him to kill his whole family.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm about to pull it up right now and put it on the screen. All right. So let's go to this Facebook one.
No. Is that the guy? Actually, yeah, it is the guy.
You have to tell me.
It is the guy. Go to the
All
story.
right. So I'm going to go back to that one then. All right. This is something else.
You had it on the screen. All right. Go ahead down and scroll it down in a minute. Okay. Read that right there. What does that say there?
A Glendale, Arizona man confessed to killing his family by calling 911 and informing the dispatcher that he sang a song of hip-hop artist Eminem as he stabbed his entire family. Michael Brian Miller, 29, took the lives of his wife, Adriana Miller, and 10-year-old daughter, Valeria. His 4-year-old son, Brian, was stabbed 11 times and survived. In a phone call which took place on May 30th, Michael Miller can be heard telling the dispatcher, "I just killed my family with a knife, all of them, all three of them." Miller also goes on to state that he sung lyrics to Eminem's song and killed his 2 children after they woke up to their mother screaming, who referred to as a demon, as the 2 were in a dispute in reports. Miller says that during the dispute, he was threatening her with a knife. You want me
Okay.
to continue?
Now, some will say, fake news. So I want you to unpack that and give reason to why would you think something like that would happen.
Well, we have this thing we have in suggestion. We have these things called subliminal messaging.
Okay.
And within subliminal messaging, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to have this kind of behavior, but pending what a person thinks about themselves, and clearly we have a large variety of polarized degrees of differences in people, so how they eat, how they sleep, all these things come into play, how they entertain themselves, all these things come into play. So that subliminal messaging is hitting each of them differently, So if this person believes some horrible things about themselves, and then they're listening to certain music that is enhancing and empowering that negativity, well, this type of behavior is possible, so without more details, it's challenging to unpack it, because obviously, this is the first time I've heard about it.
Yeah, we're doing this real time. This is real time. Like, let's just
Right.
go to the University of Google, right? All right.
University of Google.
Do this one. When we talked earlier about the power of it, type
Sure.
in New York Post, comma, woman hospitalized after listening to Sean Paul, goes into seizure. However you want to put those keywords in there. Seizure, Sean Paul, New York Post, woman hospitalized. There you go. Reggae star triggers.
It's the one.
Go back. Well, that's temperature, but go back to the original story. That's a follow-up story in 2008. Go back down to reggae star seizures and rot right there. Okay. That's New York. I need the New York Post one, but it's the same report. But give me the New York Post one.
All right, this one right here, May 9th.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce was blushing.
We're doing real time here. Go up to the very first one that you had. Let's go back to the very.
Hey, y'all like, comment, and share. Appreciate y'all being here while the homie
As a matter of fact,
this.
You see down there where it says, when music attacked, Sean Paul's temperature gave. There you go. Click on that one.
All right.
Okay, so in this story, real briefly, we don't want to belabor this. Every time she would hear the song Temperature.
Sure.
Is that the one? I don't even remember the song. I'm not a Sean Paul connoisseur, but every time she would hear that song, she would go into a seizure. She would have to be rushed to the hospital. And so they first reported the story that it was just by coincidence. But if you scroll down and look through the report, you'll find that sometimes music and sound frequencies will trigger certain things in the brain.
Yes.
Right? So it goes here. If you read where it says Stacy's condition, or the song got stuck in one's head, right there at the top. Go ahead.
I got you. The phenomenon of getting a song stuck in one's head is a common enough experience. The last one to really get me good was Scarlett Johansson's Falling Down, which I started out liking, but which then haunted my mornings for 10 or 11 straight days. Stacey Gale's condition was far worse, according to a January 17th press release from the North Shore, Long Island Jewish Health System. Her problems began when Sean Paul's popular song Temperature permeated urban radio in her neighborhood of Queens, New York. Upon hearing the song, she began experiencing epileptic seizures as the rhythmic song, listen below, synced up certain aspects of her brain in a harmful way. The problem spread to other popular songs, including Rihanna's Umbrella and Sean Kingston's Beautiful Girl. Scientific American points out in an article posted on Monday that while seizures would seem to be a loss of control, they're actually the result of much of this activity falling into step, like soldiers in a marching army. If they are all marching in time across a bridge, said neurosurgeon Ashish Mehta, the bridge would start to move.
Stop right there. So someone will say, fake news, fact check. You do whatever you want to do. This is why I wanted to do it real time. Like go straight to Google, straight to the internet, just for a moment to just say, okay, here's one example. Here's another example, right? Facts. One more last thing I want you to do. Type in iDozer. IDOSER. If you think this is good, man, just give us a thumbs up. Throw some hearts out there, man. We're just having a conversation. You happen to be just listening to a meeting, and we're just bouncing ideas off each other. Like, follow, and share. Two brothers in the conversation. Is that right, Fernand?
That's
all
right. Yep.
iDozers. Okay, click on. Let's go right there to let's just go to the Wikipedia. Let's just start there. Now, some time ago, Fernand, I was doing a documentary. I was doing some research actually about 10 years ago. And I came across this particular website when they first built it. And you could download sound frequencies as if you were downloading medicine for drugs. So there were certain hertz and frequencies that you'll be able to download that will make you feel like you're high, or they'll make you happy, or make you sad, or something that will remind you of an experience. So what it was called iDozer. I think it was like $1.99, and so people were downloading sound frequencies, not lyrics, but it was a drug of choice. And you would sit in your headphones, and you would just listen to these frequencies, vibrations, sound waves, whatever it is, and get your high on. So the real question is, can music, as we're just talking about this one little piece of it, is it that powerful? Is it that effective?
Without a shadow of a doubt. Anything in our experience is that effective. And music I would say it has the highest height of that strength. There's nothing that has more strength than it when it comes down to suggestion. This is the reason why they put so much money behind it, because it's that effective once you put it in repetition.
Right. And I think when you really understand how beautiful music is, if and the ability to create something from within you, and to design a sound, or the sound that will overcome you, and you're creating with the instruments, the trumpet, the horns, whatever it is, the creative side of us is very important. And I'm not here to minimize or speak negatively in this particular conversation about music, but I'm just trying to tap into some areas about so that you can see and understand that there is an impact on what we bring in. As you mentioned earlier, Ferdinand, you said we were talking about the eye gate, what goes in through our eyes, what comes in through our ears. If we're not careful, we'll begin to experience those things that are not healthy with our acts, meaning our hands, with our way we think, which then translates how we speak. So now I'm speaking like what I've been programmed to perform and mimic unknowingly or knowingly. Now, is that too deep? Do I need an underwater scuba diving degree? Is that too deep? Can I still stay surface? What can I do with that?
I don't think it's too deep. I think at the end of the day, this is what we need to be talking about. These are the conversations that need to happen in Melanation, so that we can lead this movement for the other young leaders to go ahead and take that baton and keep carrying it on. Because without these conversations, what happens is you got a bunch of people that's just doing stuff.
Right.
They just kind of wandering. And you got to have these conversations just like we have the conversations about who's the best MC, Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas, right? All of these conversations are every single one of them are important. You know,
Right.
they're necessary, and they help everybody have better direction, you know, as they're moving along the journey of their purpose, you know, of their worthy ideals. Like, you got to have truth to achieve that. You know, I think one of our recent shows, or in the past, I may have said it in a phone call.
Right.
Hitler, ultimately, there's a lot of people who believe that he lost World War II as a result of him not having proper information. Okay, well, you know, if you're killing everybody or punishing everybody who brings you a bad report, well, eventually people are going to stop bringing you reports that are the truth. You're never going to know what's going on. Now your enemies are they're going to tear you apart, right? Well, suggestion, truth, how we operate, like, all of that makes a huge difference, and we do it best in balance.
Now, that's important because, again, if you have the knowledge and you have an understanding, right? And I'm not just saying loosely that you can or cannot be controlled. The idea is that what you just mentioned, being balanced, having the knowledge and understanding what's happening. You know, I don't want to participate in your game. Okay. So as I'm sitting here watching something or listening to something, I have a mature understanding. Okay. Off switch. You understand? Right. Because then if I don't, then I am subject to a detainment of entry, right? I'm entertained. Something is now entering into my subconscious, into my mind, into my belief system, and it's delaying the truth because everything now that I'm consuming is unhealthy. It's contradicting what is true, right? So when I'm watching something, I'm like, wait. What was that? Was that a giraffe or a lion? You know, you got a half giraffe and a half a lion walking around, and you're being misled because your mind have been manipulated by what you see, you believe, what you're hearing, you are accepting it. But the knowledge, the understanding of what's happening, I think, in my opinion, will help you further navigate through some of these things. But imagine a child who don't understand the power, the influence, how things impact the way we hear and communicate and how we think. And they operate like a child.
You know, if I may, I'd like to share. I like to share a different screen. And yeah, man, yeah.
And you know what's cool though, right? To really go real time. We didn't rehearse this. We didn't even talk about this. We just said bump it. We're just gonna talk.
So this book right here is, matter of fact, let me go to the first page so everybody can see it first. All right, this is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. Amazing book. And so this is, I believe that's an original copy. But no, it's definitely not, because it got more than 1 million written on the cover. But anyway, it's a sound copy. So let's go to the page that I was just looking at. page 34. And as you can see there, it's got some good information there about suggestion, and I'll read that for y'all. The tremendous power of suggestion. You must realize by now that your conscious mind is the watchman at the gate, and its chief function is to protect your subconscious mind from false impressions. You are now aware of one of the basic laws of mind. Your subconscious mind is amenable to suggestion. As you know, your subconscious mind does not make comparisons or contrasts. Neither does it reason and think things out for itself. This latter function belongs to your conscious mind. It simply reacts to the impressions given to it by your conscious mind. It does not show a preference for one course of action over another. This is very significant because we have the power to keep the falsities out. That existential nonsense, we have the capabilities to keep that out. But if we allow it to be ingested into the subconscious, something grows because it's a seed being
Exactly.
put into fertile ground. No
Right.
matter whether it's negative seed or positive seed, it will manifest growth.
So, can I use my life experience? This is just an example, right? If I'm singing about the joy of love, relationship, family, community, whatever, right? Is there some power in that message that is written or scripted, or even the music performed in a positive way? Is that something wrong with listening to music that makes me feel good? Is there something wrong with music because I don't know it made me feel bad? I mean, what are we riding or dying for?
Oh man. Listening to music that feels good honestly makes sense. But I would say that it only makes sense if a person knows thyself, because
Oh,
that's when you can actually trust your feelings. Prior to knowing thyself, you're not actually able to trust thyself. You're not actually able to have proper courage in thyself. In this is my opinion. Obviously, I don't have attribution, but I
I
do think
mean,
that knowing thyself is a prerequisite
look,
to
yeah, I
understand your
started
feeling properly.
right. I started feeling like Leonardo listening to the great master Splinter, brother. I started checking and making sure Hurdle. You know what I mean? That was some good stuff, though, bro. Yeah.
I appreciate that, but it's real, man.
Right.
We 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 experience life based upon what we believe about ourselves, right? So if a person is just believing things about themselves, then what happens is they don't know thyself, because knowing is the higher level of thought. Belief is important. Belief
Uh-huh.
is powerful,
Right.
but belief takes a knee to knowing.
So if you know what you believe and believe what you know, then what the problem is?
Most people don't know what they believe, because to know, you have to have a full immersion. You have to have a full experience
Right.
of whatever
Right.
it is you say you believe. That means you got to walk through that fire. That
Right.
means you got to be Daniel. You got to be Meshach, Abednego. You got to do all that. You got to go up in that furnace. You got to be
Yeah.
up in there with them
Yeah.
lions. If you
Yeah.
can't be up in there with them lions, if you can't stay up in that hot kitchen where you sweating bullets, nah, you don't know thyself. You gotta be tested by the fire to really know thyself.
So going back, when we talk about as subject is supposed to be relative to the influence of music and entertainment,
Sure.
you use the terminology are melanated people, right?
Absolutely.
So when I look upon entertainment, whether if it's a I watch a movie on an app, streaming app, or whatever. You go to the movies, you see a lot of representation of people of color in film.
Right.
You see representation of people of color in the music and the music industry, right? We're pretty much hip hop music, R&B, country. You're starting to see more melanated people at the forefront of a lot of these agencies of entertainment.
I would agree.
So my question is, why is it that at some point we reach this place of stardom, of fame, of influence with our art, with our skilled ability to act, rap, sing, whatever, right? Why is it that majority of the time it's like we celebrate them, and when they fall, it's either there's a group of us being pulled down to the concrete with them. That's what they deserve. It's almost like you become a victim of the very same fanatics that followed you as you were playing your flute. Unpack that, sir. Did you like that? Did you like that walk in the park?
I absolutely appreciated that. Thank you very much. Before I unpack it, I want to shout out my homeboy Edwin out there,
What's
Community
up, man?
Street, doing
That's
amazing things out here, Portsmouth, Virginia. Shout out Portsmouth. Shout out Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, the old 757, Hampton, Newport News.
There you go.
Yeah. Shout out Southeastern Virginia. Got love for everybody. Yeah, but the homie Edwin is out there in Portsmouth doing some amazing things. Y'all lock in with the brother, Community Street. He's got the coffee business doing amazing things. Man, I'm very proud of this brother doing amazing things as a father. You know, this is one of the brothers right here that people need to use as a mentor, right? Because he's doing the most important thing that we could do. He's actually got feet in the community. Yeah, he's in the streets.
You know something? I didn't know you knew him. I met him maybe 2018. You correct me if I'm wrong. 2019. I'm not sure. And I went to a couple of their meetings, and I thought what they were doing was amazing, some dope stuff. And to know now that you knew him or know him is wild, man. Because when I visit with the group that he was beginning to establish in Portsmouth, some of the ideas, the arts, the creativity, being able to do video, be able to do music, all these kind of things to help bring life to the city and to give a different perspective to what's happening in the community of Portsmouth. And to know and see what he's doing now, and to see that this brother, man, small world. As they would say, small world. Peace and love to you, my man.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. Much love, Edwin. Keep doing your thing, brother. So, hey, we got a guest in the building. All right, hey, y'all. We got a special guest in the building, brother Lee. I'm about to bring him to the stage.
How y'all doing, brother? How you doing?
Yo, peace, man.
How you doing, brother?
Doing good, my brothers. Peace, man.
Hey, so we diving in deep into the influence of the music industry. Help us, to tell us what your experience has been with media and music influence, and how it shaped your choices in life.
Oh man, music and media, how's it shaped my choices, man? All right, so for me personally, starting off with music, all I knew was gospel. I used to listen to little rappers who had kind of sly names such as like Pastor this and Reverend that, so I could sneak in, my rap while I was really supposed to be listening to gospel. So things like that for me was like a start off into the music industry and learning different types of music and stuff like that. How it influenced me as far as media presence and things like that, I started to learn personally that the things that I was doing maybe might not have been the best for me as an individual, and maybe not the best for my community as a whole. So I started trying to find better ways to present myself to others and learn from the things and the mistakes I made, and help others learn from my mistakes, because I can't think of who the rapper was, but I think it's Royce 59. He basically said like, hey, if I got to be your example, let me be your example, learn from my mistakes. And as a people, we should learn from each other's mistakes to help each other grow. So
That's big facts, brother. I really appreciate that. I got another question for you.
yeah.
When you think about the influence of music and entertainment today, right?
hmm
Do you see it shaping behavior of the people in any way? And if so,
Oh,
kind of let
yeah.
us know what that is for you.
Oh yeah, definitely so. I'm gonna use the most craziest one as of lately. We got Sexy Red with her music. A lot of young ladies, they don't understand that the kind of music they listen to influences their thought pattern and how they are, I'm not gonna say received, but how they're perceived by other people. So people that don't know them, they might see them and hear them going over lyrics or reciting lyrics that's not how I want to say, I'll say not coof to them themselves. However, they'll take it and they'll be like, oh, this person is that kind of person. In reality, that might not be who they are, but because that's how they're being perceived by the music they're putting out, that's kind of what it is. The media is definitely influencing people. So there's a little video that's going around on social media where it's like a group of little girls and they're like singing the hands on your knees. And it's like, wow, it's children under the age of 5. They can't tell you their ABCs, but they can tell you put your hands on your knees. So it's kind of like, wow, the influence that music has on people is very big. And us as a people, music resonates with us because we started off music being how we passed on knowledge. A lot of people don't know that music was really our way of sending messages to each other. She'll be coming around the mountain kind of music, or those old Negro spirituals, as you call them. Those were actually message songs that we were singing while we were out working to pass the message down the line that, hey, Harriet's coming, the chariot's coming. It wasn't a real chariot. We were telling people, hey, this tonight, Harriet gonna be around here, so make sure you at the spot so she can pick you up so you can get where you need to be. So
Facts.
it was.
Hey, so I got
It
one
was.
more question for you, brother.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got one more question.
Hey,
Um,
look. Yeah, he doing a good job, brother. You really dropping it. I hear you.
yeah. What's your question, my brother? I'm here for it.
so it just kind of slipped. T-Ton, you want to jump in there?
Well, I think I can appreciate and pleasure seeing you, my brother, man. Good you to pop in and have this conversation with us. I think there's great value in what you shared, right? And I think that a lot of times, the very simple history, that lessons and things that we hear, stories that have been passed down to us, and a lot of those things are great things to make the connection. But I'm really interested knowing that I know you of this young generation. You're a young lion. So what is it that has to happen for your generation, right, to understand the importance of having these conversations, but taking the education and the knowledge and putting it into action and learning to do better as we continue to create from ourselves and from our experiences?
Ooh, our generation, my generation is a little younger, so we're how do I want to say it in a nice way? We're about the flashy, we're about the now, we're about the what do I get immediately. The older generation understood they kind of had to work for what they have. Nowadays, the technology and media, as you say, has made us believe that everything is a right now, right now, right now kind of feel. What we would have to do, or what we should be kind of aiming to do, is creating that same, what's the word? That same love or that same energy or that same excitement for our people, but in the way that's positive. So a lot of people, I'll just use the current beef right now, the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef. Everybody's so hype on it because it's like it's a big thing, it's a popular thing, it's what everybody's interested in, but they're tearing each other down instead of uplifting each other. So we have to, as a people find a way to make uplifting each other exciting. We need to
Okay.
find a way to make doing better for ourselves exciting. Everybody wants to be the bad guy. Everybody is now labeling themselves demons. You know, like that's the cool thing now. And
So we went from calling each other sons and gods
gods and earths, yeah.
to
So now
thieves,
we're
to Crips, to Bloods, to now we demons. Man,
yeah, exactly.
I done heard enough.
Exactly. So that's where we are kind of now. I feel like we're kind of going the opposite way. However, it's going to sound bad, but our people are struggling because we lack the knowledge. We're not willing to understand. We're seeing that, hey, this is rich, or this is how you get rich, or this is how people are getting money. And instead of saying that's the wrong way to get money, we're saying they get money. And that's all people are driven by. They're driven by that clout. They're driven by that likes, or they're driven by the likes. Like if someone posts something positive on Facebook or Instagram, they get in 2-3 likes. But if someone's posting something negative or something contradictory or something that's degrading, they're getting 1,000 likes. So as a kid looking up to people and saying, I want to be famous, I want to get likes, what are they going to do? Are they going to do the good thing that gets 2 likes, or are they going to do the negative thing that gets them 1,000 likes? So as a people, we got to start changing that narrative and accepting that positive is good and negative is bad, because it is what it is.
I really appreciate you, man. You really shared some valuable thought on that. But I do think this way. I've heard that because I was on the other side of that in the 90s and the 80s. My parents were on point to me. You shouldn't be listening to da-da-da, whoop, 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 whoop. I'm sure during the 70s, my grandparents was doing the same thing, right? So this is a cycle. So here's what I've learned. That I have learned to really stop taking my cues from the stars.
Exactly.
Too often, because we are exposed to various levels of entertainment and the idea of being famous, finding our identities through the image, or living parasocial relationships through our favorite artists or entertainers, so forth and so on, you begin to live your life vicariously through the image of those people.
Exactly.
As my brother said earlier, getting to know who you are, right? So what I find difficult now is that it is really time for parents and leaders in the home, fathers, husbands, men, community, mothers, right? If we start really looking on the inside of our community, right? The way I see it, having a transformed, renewed mind, understanding that I have to protect what's my first community, have a sound mind to be able to lead, to give instruction, right? And then to be able to manifest that through to my children and my family, my community. We're so busy looking to the stars to live our lives, to influences. Do you think that that's a identity crisis, or it's just something that we will eventually outgrow? You understand what I'm saying? It was just a phase.
Nah. It's gonna sound bad, and I don't want to be the guy that wears the tinfoil hat, but it's a plan, it's a ploy, it's a group of people that created this, and they're intentionally doing it, knowing that we don't have the knowledge and that we're not connected enough to do better, or not willing as a whole to do better. My favorite artist and rapper of all time is KRS-One, and the reason he is my favorite is because he honestly portrays what hip hop is truly supposed to be, despite him not being able to get that grand entrance that everybody wants to have. He still is true to what the roots of hip hop was, and he still pushes positivity, peace, and community, even though that's not what's cool. So nowadays, music, they call it rap because it's not hip hop. If you notice, they've gone away from the hip hop term. It's now rap. And the rap is literally leading us to the rapture, as my friend likes to say. So as we're doing it, we need to realize that, like you said, the stars, they're not really stars. They're false idols. They're items that are there to make us fanatics. People don't understand the word fan means you're a fanatic. To be fanatical about something isn't actually a good thing. it's actually a negative term. If you look up the word fanatic, you'll see that it's not really a positive thing. They just shortened it because, again, our people lack knowledge. So we see it and say, oh yeah, I'm his fan. But what do you mean by a fan? Why are you fanatical about this person? And what makes you fanatical about them that doesn't make you fanatical about yourself? How do you not see that you yourself are the star? You yourself are the goal. You yourself are the lead. You'll give somebody $10,000 or $5,000, $500 to go see them perform, but you won't give your kid $500 to promote their dream. So we as a people, we got to start changing our narrative. We got to, as you said, become a community. A village is needed to raise a child, not just one person. Yeah.
All right, so hey, everybody, like, share, comment, subscribe. We got the big homie Lee over here doing this thing, giving us some knowledge. I hope y'all listening. Get your pencils, your papers, your pens, your Google Docs, your notepads. He giving some knowledge out. Y'all listen. Hey, let's go. Keep going, Mr. Lee.
Yes, sir. And so because we as a community are not willing to, I guess, invest in ourselves, and we're more interested in investing in the stars and being fanatics of the stars, we're losing ourselves as a community or as a whole. So I think, to answer your question, what we could do or how we can get there is by starting to actually promote each other, to start doing things like how y'all are doing, have some kind of way to reach the people where everyone's seeing it and going, oh, okay, well, this is something that's helping us as a community. This is something that's uplifting us as a whole. It's not here to drive us down. It's here for us to gain knowledge, here for us to help each other. And by us starting to do that, I feel like it will do the opposite of what the masters are trying to do with us. They're trying to get us divided. They're trying to get us down. They're trying to get us in low vibration. So by us doing things like this and pushing the positivity, we'll be able to go ahead and make those moves and, like you said, get out of this mind frame and move to another level as a whole.
Man, you have really helped us, man. So we look old, but we probably about 5 years older than you.
Well, who look old?
I appreciate your share, because I like the fact that you were able to identify from your lens what the problem is, not speak for a holistic group of people, but the idea of you acknowledging the problem and providing a solution from your experience and from your vantage points. And I think it's important, because a lot of times we have conversations about music, and conversation is either demonetization. You see the play on words. Demonetization.
Yep.
We demonize.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And we create all these different things and conversations around it, but we're not empowering people to educate themselves further, to understand what it is that is entering into my hardware, my hard drive, my software. What is it that I'm downloading into my subconscious? Right. But I think also the importance of knowing that we're communicating freely in a conversation and discussion. I hope that there's no directives and no one is giving anybody no instructions.
Right,
exactly. My experience has been, and Ferdinand's had his experience, you've had your experience, but what I found is very unique is this. You hear the cliche, if you know better,
do better.
Right? So now, even when I'm talking about my diet and the kinds of food that I'm eating, I'm now looking at the labels. Okay, don't need to consume this. And I put it down. Yep. Why is it that we can't put it down just for a little while? What's the problem? Is it a drug?
That's exactly what it is.
It's a spiritual and a mental connection. But hey, Brother Lee, hey, I really want to thank you for coming onto the platform and sharing your knowledge. Thank you so much, my brother. And be blessed, my brother. Take care.
Thank you. Y'all too. Y'all have a good one, my brothers. Be blessed. Later.
All right, brother. Hey, y'all, everybody out there. Thank y'all so much. I see so much interaction from our listeners out there. Thank y'all. Really appreciate it. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep commenting, keep subscribing. And I want to bring another guest to the stage. All right, we got the big homie Edwin in the building, Community Street. Let's go.
My
What's
man.
going on, brother? How you doing? You got your microphone on. Yeah.
Peace,
Mr.
y'all.
Portsmouth.
Titan, how you doing?
What's up, man? Long time, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Really good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Really good to see you. I'm so glad. You said you didn't know that he knew me, and I didn't know that he knew you. But I'm real excited. Really excited to get connected again, man.
Hey, so Edwin, we're diving deep into the influence of music and entertainment on our communities, and I was wondering if you had anything to share concerning your experience with that.
y'all definitely said a lot already. You probably don't, you don't have enough time to really dive in. But yes, I think you said it earlier, you just said yes, so a lot of answers to a lot of the questions is yes, right? Does it influence us? Does it influence us negative? Does it, cause havoc? Does it cause chaos? Yes, and yes. But I love what Mr. Lee was saying on there, because the opposite of that, what we see is happening and what's going on, the opposite
Right.
is what our focus can be on, right? The opposite of the negative, the opposite of what we see that's derogatory, that's demeaning, and demonizing everything. We can let's steer it in another direction, right? And if we're powerful beings, right, which we are, right, just that's why it's being used against us. It's because we're powerful beings, right? So if we're powerful beings, let's do that. Let's steer it. Let's affect change in the opposite direction in our vibrations. We're doing it right now. This is a vibration right here, connecting all together on this
Facts.
platform. This voice that you guys are creating, this sound that you're creating with your conversations. I was listening to your last one, I think your last podcast today. And y'all hit on, I was a stepfather of 3 kids, they're all in their 30s now. Now I have a 2-year-old again.
Wow.
And y'all did y'all best. And I don't think I finished it yet, but y'all said a lot. I'm thinking to myself, and right now, to comment, you're not really leaving much room to comment, because y'all are hitting on the things, y'all are saying the things. And so I appreciate you. I appreciate you doing this, opening up this conversation, this platform. I got more to say about that industry. I came up in it too. And I know y'all both have. I just a little bit I heard about you, Ferdinand. I seen it in my community. I seen we all gravitated to that direction. By the way, I was a dancer coming out of high school. I was also in I break dance like when I was like, 7, and then it just never went away. So like I was 10 again, because it kind of lingered, so I went from one town to the next, and then 10 years old I was 11, 12, I was breaking again, because it was just and so when I did get to high school, when I had my dance group in South Jersey, just speaking about music and hip hop, and this is another positive influence, right? We danced in high school. We danced every talent show, right? We rocked every party, every, any club we can get into, we rocked, and man, dance was such a positive influence for us, man. Like,
right.
Just, how much we could learn, how many people we could meet. But one thing that I share, like with young people, when I share, in community development, is that one thing it gave me was that although like I'm not a professional dancer today, I'm not still doing it in my head. I'm doing all kinds of stuff in my head. I'm still like rocking out, right? But it showed us that we can take something that was in us, like a creative power that was in us, and we can actually put it out somewhere and put it down, and I think that's what we got out of it. And you go look at my dance, my dance partners, they're all in different places, Philadelphia and Atlanta, they went on to have studios, they dabbled in, hip hop themselves and rapping and all that. But I think it showed us that on a positive note, it gave us some hope. There was some hope, right? All the other things that you can think of when it comes to inspirational music and inspirational vibrations and healing vibrations, everything you can think of, that's what we're getting from it. And that's what we got from it. And it was just more prevalent then. And I like the point of view Mr. Lee came from his generation, because he basically said the same thing. It's simple. We think it's something like way that we gotta go reach for something really deep because of this generation. Now they're deep, they're smart and all that. But when you think about it, right? Like when I really thought about AI and all that, right? I thought that's a facade. Like that's just some finagling, some numbers. You know what I mean? Like that's not really that great of an innovation when you think about it, right? It's a facade. It's something. It's like it's on the screen. It's on the screen still. So, it sounds simple. Mr. Lee says that that it sounds like cliche that we need inspiration. We need inspirational music. We need inspirational dance. Here in Portsmouth, Virginia, Tayton, y'all would have been so proud of Portsmouth if you go online. If you go online and look at it, we had this mural festival, right? Down on this Blandon block over on Hatton Street, down Queen Street behind. If you're familiar with, in Portsmouth, Virginia, it's just a blighted area, basically that not getting used in downtown, right? That's in the works to be innovated and grown and everything, but it's not yet, right? So the muralists, the mural groups, and the arts group in the area got with some other artists in the area, and they got connections with breakdance and hip hop, and they had a breakdance competition. Y'all go online and look at the videos and the pictures of what happened out there that 2 weekends ago out here. And what I saw was, what an opportunity, y'all. The types of people that was looking at this, I had, people that I work with in the business association asking me questions. I had a coffee booth out there. It was like, so do they practice that? That people stayed out there the competition was like 2 hours or longer. And there's people who stayed out there the entire time. They got a lesson from that, y'all. I'm talking about the backdrop had a mural on the wall already. It had graffiti on the wall. There were graffiti artists out there earlier in the day tagging walls and everything. They had a skateboard rent. So I'm excited, y'all. You don't have to cut me off if you want to turn.
No, brother, I appreciate it. Listen, let me tell you something. I enjoy what you're sharing, because as you were talking, I was thinking about, man, did you spin back the days and time? Because remember, in the 80s, early 80s, I remember breakdancing on the cardboard and the contests and the experience, right? And the same things would happen. You would see folks come out and be like, man, what y'all doing? Man, y'all gonna hurt yourself, but man, y'all been practicing. And so now you see this come back around again, and we're still alive to see it. What can we do differently now that we didn't watch the first 50 years come out? Now, what can we do differently for this next generation as we bridge this gap and continue to give them inspiration to not only create, but to be better human beings and be better citizens and be better young people? So what can we do to flip the script and give them a new lesson?
That's a really great question. I'm interested to hear that one.
Good. I love that. I love that question. So the first thing I think of is this. Sorry, excuse me for moving around a little bit. Let me try to get situated here.
You're good, brother. Do your thing.
The first thing is, right, using the tools. We got all these new tools, right? And a lot of them are for my age, they're just hard to navigate. But using these tools to go further, and to share that, But like I said, I think it really is very basic. Again, get excited. The DJ, I don't know how old he was, but he was good out here at this mural festival here in Portsmouth, Virginia. Good. Anyway, he got to the point where he was playing a little bit of house music, and that was our thing as well back in the day. And that's a whole nother topic, y'all. When I think about using music for inspiration, I can't stop thinking about how we can use house music and dance to do that. And I got some ideas for that. I'm looking at, activating some of them this year. So he played Follow Me, and see, I know I've come to people in Portsmouth now. You know, I think they know me from, you know, whatever, how they know me, being on, you know, boards and doing community events or whatever. They saw a different side of me last Saturday. They saw a different Edwin, boy. When Follow Me came on, I couldn't help
a place.
Yes.
And the land was free.
Yes.
Come with me over there.
Come follow me, right, to a place, right? Yeah, where we can be free. And so all these different faces, all different colors. I start to I was on a high. So I guess that music must have some of that hurts in it, some of that good hurts in it, because I was on a high. I started circling around, looking at people and singing that song. I'm like, this is the song right now, y'all. This is the song. This song is being sang to you. This DJ played it or whatever, for whatever reason. But I'm telling y'all, listen, you know, and I'm singing this song, just looking at all different color faces and everything, and looking right at them in their eye, you know, so, you know, saying the same message, because it's true. It's true. You know, we do need to do that. We do, you know, all the things y'all talked about fatherhood, you know, the things I've listened to so far. Yes, and yes. We need to get free. And so the music is a powerful, one of the powerful tools to do that. I say we just got to do it, right? We actually, what we got to do new is go back. We kind of is, I know, like I said, we got to go back and do some of the old stuff. So you know, I've been seeing the need for street teams again, right? You know,
hey, Edwin, we really appreciate you coming on the show and giving your measure, bro. Like real rap, man. I think that it's super important, the measure that you gave, because you came and gave us that positive side of how a young brother can come up and have that outlet, for that emotional outlet that they need through music. And you know, we didn't even, you know, we weren't even really thinking about that part, but that's super important, man. And I'm really happy to know that there are brothers out here who are able to express themselves in creative ways that way, man. So thank you so much for coming on the show today, man. Hopefully next week you'll be right back over here again with us.
No doubt. Appreciate you, my man. Good seeing you, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for having me.
My brother. Yeah, hey, everybody who is tuned in, thank y'all so much. We thank y'all so much. We've got some great guests who have came on today, and said some amazing things about the influence of music and entertainment, the negative side as well as the positive side. And my brother Teton, obviously, he over here giving us a great measure on. But you got any closing words for us, brother?
Oh, you know, like I said, man, good conversation. I think I've been on one extreme of the conversation, and I've been on the other extreme of the conversation. And what I found beneficial now at 50, right? The importance of balance and healthy understanding. And even when you're researching and you're studying to communicate a message or an idea about music and entertainment, I found to stand on my foundational principles first,
Sure.
right? But at the same time, I'm understanding the symptom. I understand the solution. The challenge is, how do you live out these wonderful things, this great knowledge, and be an example? Because we can sit here all day long and throw out data, information, inspiration, but it's important for you as the individual, the listener, those just sitting back kicking it with us, to go do your own research, to really look well within yourself and see what you need to work on as an individual concerning your family.
I'd really like to dive in on that if you're cool with it.
Yeah, no doubt. And so the last thing is that what's so good about this conversation too, because I can speak to the darkness and the thunder of the negatives, but I've experienced the journey along the way. And what I want to submit is that be patient with your young people. Be patient with your family members and your communities. as you give them your knowledge and give them your insight, even when you're giving them scripture, when you're giving them, doctrine or beliefs or whatever it is that you're sharing with your family, man, because sometimes people don't get it as fast as you get it. And, you don't want to be the messenger of doom with a message of hope bottled up on the inside. And because your heart is so full of zeal and excitement to help people that you do more damage, right? So that's what I had to learn, not looking up every rock trying to find the devil, but understanding that the power that I have invested in the knowledge and the understanding and the learning and growing, I now have to plant seeds. How is it can you cut down a whole tree and then put it in front of your yard and expect for it to bear fruit? I'll land my plane there.
Well, one of the things that you just talked about was practical ways to implement, let's say, holistic change in ingestion of media. Would you say that was where you were going a little bit?
Look, I was about to hand you off. Handing it off.
Okay, all right. So, what I do, one of the things that I do in my home with my children is I minimize the music. Right. It doesn't even matter what genre of the music that it is. And then most of the time when there is music played, my wife is normally playing instrumental type of music. There's a guitarist that she really likes, and she plays that for the children. She also plays other types of classical music for the children when there is music played. Right. Sometimes, we'll play music that actually has lyrics, a recording artist. But most of the time we don't. Right. So, and then most of the time we don't play music at all. Right. And then we'll play audiobooks. Right. So like, let's say when I'm driving, I'm taking the children on a camping trip. Right. Well, I'm playing audiobooks the whole way. There's no music. And I'm playing books that's going to teach them how to have control over their emotions. I'm playing books that teach them how to earn $1 million or whatever it is that might be important to them. Right. I'm playing those types of books. And I think that these are practical ways to implement the change of suggestion. Now, the suggestion is also what goes in the mouth, what goes in the ears, the eyes, the secretions of the skin. So we're also changing suggestion in what is going into the mouth. Right. So more vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, legumes, herbs, water. Right. Minimizing all those other things that could be harmful suggestions. Right, that work just the same way that the music works, the same way that all the entertainment works. So there's all kinds of ways. This is what Ferdinand does. Yeah. So you good over there?
Yeah, man. I was just waiting. I thought you were going to present a video or you was going to throw a slide up. So I was just sitting there looking at my email. I was like, okay. But nevertheless.
Well, no, I just wanted to give some practical ways, because you had mentioned it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And there's ways of looking at it. And so, yeah, I totally get with it, man. These conversations, I have a lot of dialogue about this kind of stuff in small pieces, right? Because like my brother said earlier, it's a big conversation.
That's
very big conversation. And too often we dive into the pool with combat boots on and a shovel in the hand. Think about what I just said. You diving in the pool with boots on and a shovel in your hand.
Yeah,
right?
Ready to go to
Thinking that you want to dig so deep into the conversation that we have to slow walk people through some of these things in bits and pieces. So I'm looking for part 2. I think there's a part 2 coming up. We're gonna dive in a little bit more. But thank you, man, for allowing me to be a part of this broadcast, a part of this conversation. I'm Teton Moffitt, and this has been a great dialogue about the power and the influence of music and entertainment.
Hey, thank you, brother. Really appreciate you. They call me Ferdinand. I'm the bringer of balance, leader of many disciplines, and we really want to thank y'all. Really appreciate y'all. There's a lot of engagement today. I think this is a really important topic. And I think more families need to dive into this, so definitely episode 2, part 2 of this conversation is going to be happening on Tuesday, 7 p.m. I hope you're able to chime in. Make sure you're sharing the message, because we need to help our people with these types of messages. This is what needs to play while you're driving down the street. This is what needs to play while you're just hanging out. It's barbecuing time in the backyard or whatever. This is what needs to be on the big speaker, so that we can go ahead and solve our problems, create stronger group economics,
That's
and
right.
have remission from not just physical disease, but from mental and spiritual disease as well. Right. So, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and get on up out of here. Y'all be blessed. Thank y'all so much. Talk to y'all later.